Should we stretch the beginning? Okay, text 68, we'll be taking focus. Islamyasya Mahabhaho Nam Sarvasha Therefore, Almighty One, one who simply are restricted from their objects of certain steady desires. This is the one. Yamishata Buddhana, Tasyam Java Samya, Tasyam Java Buddhana, Sam Shava Shito. It is night for all beings at the time of awakening from self-control. In the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. In 70. Apurima Machala Pratishtha Tamu Vipapa Shanti Yadva Navana Krishan Sadesisham Atma Vinama. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires, like enter, like rivers into the ocean, which is everything filled but is always still, and learn to achieve peace, do not have any strive to satisfy such desires. Hare Kama Sarvam Pramashchari Nistiya Yamamanura Hana Sashanti Adhyachati. A person who is given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false evil, he alone can attain real peace. 72. Isharam Stiti Bharata Bharata Bharati Vidasam Vitali Brahmanam Vichati. That is the way of the spiritual godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered. Being such situated, even at the hour of death, nothing entered into the kingdom of God. So, we'll read from chapter 3, text 1. Arjuna Uvacha Jayasi Karmanaste Bhuti Janardana Narkin Karmani Bholema Niyojayasi Keshava. Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Keshava, why do you urge me to engage in this path of warfare? You think that intelligence is better than fruits of work. Text 2, chapter 3. Yamashvini Gavaki Naguni Mohayas and what is to my intelligence is bewildered by the critical instructions, therefore please tell me decisively what is most beneficial for me. Next week. Shri Bhagavan Raja Okre Simpli Vikarishna Pura Pura Yamana Santyana Parmayogini Guruna. The Blessed Lord said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who realize the self. Some are inclined to understanding by empirical, philosophical speculation, and others are inclined to know by devotional work. Next 4. Nakaranam Anavakam Vaishnava Purishos Vivek Vichasamyasana Deva Siddham Sanadikasati. Not that merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, thereby renunciation alone can one attain perfection. Next 5. Nahi Kashikshanam Akhi Japu Tishya Nirmanaki Aripeya Shakrama Sadapa Vicharakane. All men are forced to act helplessly according to the impulses born of the laws of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. Text 6. Karindriyam Samninam Yasti Manasasmanam Indriya Pravabhidhapa Vidyachavasavuchini. One who restrains the senses in organs of action, whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself, it is called a pretender. We'll go back to text 68 of chapter 2. Read the translation of the report by the non-Christians of the Snadisya Mahabaho Vihan Sarvasha Indriyam Vyarthi Vistasantika Tishta. Therefore, O mighty Lord, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certain of steady intelligence. Therefore, the enemies are curbed by superior force. Similarly, the senses can be curbed not by any human endeavor, but only by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord. One who has understood this, and only by Krishna consciousness is one really established intelligence, that once you practice this art, unlimited that is by spiritual matter. It's called a sadhana, or suitable liberation. So this chapter 2 is called the contents of the Gita summarized. Talking about the core describes it as being a summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. And you can see that Krishna covers a wide array, the whole philosophy, which Arjuna has certain doubts and questions, and he brings up later, which enables Krishna to expand on further and further. This back portion of chapter 2, a common thing that comes up is this pragya, stita pragya, stita meaning fixed, or steady, pragya meaning consciousness, and in pratishtha. So Krishna is describing the process that we fixed in a higher state of consciousness, where we have no disturbances. And what are those disturbances? These threefold miseries in the material world. Miseries coming from the living entities, miseries coming from natural disasters, miseries ultimately coming from one's own mind. Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah. They're called the three places. The first one is Adhyatmika. Said Adi. Places. That refers to the three of them. Adhyatmika.
Ultimately, it's all coming from Adhyatmika, all coming from the mind, because whatever problems we're facing in the world, filter into our mind. Krishna is describing the process that one has steady consciousness and will be undisturbed by these elements that affect us in life. So he's describing the symptoms of someone who's fixed in sense consciousness, and just to give them a brief overview, he says, one who is able to withdraw his senses from the sense objects as the tortoise draws from the shell, he is to be understood as truly situated in knowledge. So we can see tortoises who withdraw their head and their arms into their shell by protection from different predators and prey that are trying to eat them. Similarly, the yogi, the person with a fixed consciousness, will withdraw his senses from acting on the sense objects which we hear from the Bhagavad as a source of suffering in the world. But not just anybody can just withdraw their senses from the sense object, because in the next text, Krishna says, Vishyāya nivartate nirāhara sukhayiṇā rasavarca nasopesya adamishkāna vartate. 59, by the way. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense objects remain. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing the higher taste is fixed in consciousness. So just to cut off our senses from the objects of the senses, things that we find pleasure, we gratify our senses. It's very, very difficult just by restricting ourselves, because rasa varjana rasopyasya, the taste for sense enjoyment still remains. Try to meditate, try to have a fixed mind, try to cut out the things we know that are bad or addictive or troublesome to our spiritual life. But because we have a taste for them, we still meditate, we still feel, we still linger after it. When Krishna is saying, Para Krishna Varta, but by getting a higher taste, Para, superior, then Varta, we cease from this lower pull of the sense object. Then Krishna, he describes further that the senses are so strong, even a person trying to control them, they can be thrown around. Just like a boat blown by the wind. And then text 61, which is the point that Prabhupada mentioned purport, which is why I want to get through. Distani Sardani Samyanya Yuka Asita Lapadaha Vishaya Sunyani Tasya Patishita. So here's this word again, Vidya Patishita. It's very common in this text. Translation: one who restrains the senses and keeps his countenance upon me, the zone of a man of steady intelligence. So this is what Krishna is saying. It is a way to fix our consciousness above the lower poles, the lower things that bring us down, bring us anxiety and struggle. Yukta asita vatparaha. Being engaged in me, in relationship with me, vatparaha. This way, one can control their senses and have fixed consciousness. So then, Krishna gives the solution to our problems by fixing our consciousness on Him in relationship with Him. But if we're not able to do that because our desire for sense objects, sense gratification still remains, then in the next text, text 52, Yariko Vishyan Punsas, investigation of Jayate, Siddhas Jayate Karma, Kama Kuru Jayate. And then 63, Krodha, Pavati Samoha, Samoha Smriti Vikama, Smriti Bruksha, Bhuvinasho, Bhuvinasha Pranashiti. It says, while contemplating the objects of the senses, the person develops attachment for them. From such attachment, lust develops. And from lust, anger arises. From anger, delusion arises. And from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. When intelligence is lost, one falls down into the material pool. So right here in chapter 2 in the beginning, Krishna is describing to Arjuna to overcome the dualities of life. Earlier on he says, Mantra starts to compare supposed to sit in the Mahatma, just on the Shastra. And tolerate happiness and distress as they come in due course of time, just like winter and summer. So, as summertime is encroaching, starting to get more hot, more humid. And the pleasurable springtime is ending. But then after that, what happens? It becomes cold again and hot again, cold. You have to tolerate it. So Krishna is saying similarly, we should be able to tolerate happiness and distress that are coming through this association with the modes of material nature, with gunas. And by being able to tolerate these inevitable happinesses and distresses, it becomes steady in our consciousness, focused on life's goal, focused on Krishna. Krishna said, we just read, just become connected to Him. And this way, it's very easy to overcome the push and pull of the senses and the inevitable happiness and distresses. But because we don't have a higher taste, and we still remember what it tastes like to enjoy so much lusty sense gratification. Then in text 62, it says, while contemplating the objects of the senses, the person develops a pattern for them. So if we're allowing ourselves to meditate on certain objects or persons or anything really, we develop attachment to that idea. Like right now, somebody's hungry, and I start meditating on some degrees, chutney. I haven't had that around here in a while, that'd be pretty good. Then you start developing attachment. Oh wow, I'm really hungry. I want this. Attachment, lust develops. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. But for unfulfilled lust, that's an anger. And this is a vicious cycle that happens in the material world. Because we're always lusting after particular objects and particular situations, but it never leaves us fulfilled. So inevitably, it leaves us frustrated. So from this frustration and anger, delusion arises. From delusion, you go into the memory. You forget what's the point of life. Why am I working hard to control my senses? When memory is bewildering, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down into the material life. So Krishna is giving a whole clear-cut succession of knowledge to show us our predicament in the material world, how we're being dictated by these ups and downs of life, and just going round and round from one body to the next body. And he's giving a solution of how to control the mind and the senses, so to focus on our spiritual reality, our connection to Krishna, which is very easily achieved by focusing our mind on Krishna. Which is why it's so wonderful that Shem is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because we're able to meditate on Krishna's name, Krishna's presence in this thing. The more we clear our consciousness and focus, trying to chant purely, and call out to Krishna, and Krishna will manifest in our life. And as Krishna manifests more and more and more in our life, then this higher taste naturally develops. And the higher taste, mundane things, it tastes horrible. To a devotee who's used to studying Srimad Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavatam, you have to go to school and study. A lot of students that come here to study the program year to year. Every few years they go to school and get a new book, new knowledge, new system. So it's never satisfying because you always have to study something new and change. You study the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Bhagavatam. You're reading the same book, the same knowledge, but it purifies your consciousness more and more and more. So we're relishing with the Holy Spirit. So as we enter deeply into the Bhagavad Gita, naturally a deeper understanding should be there. And this deeper understanding becomes conviction of what we're doing. And life's goal is actually to know Krishna, not to enjoy our senses. Because Krishna said that the purpose of our life is just to try to find temporary happiness, which sense of joy, really in vain, because it's all a set, it's temporary. It comes and goes with ephemeral happiness. Happiness that's there for a few seconds at best, and then it fades away. But the happiness that's derived from coming to serving Lord Krishna is happiness that's always increasing, it's always growing. Very rapidly, we can make progress in understanding what Krishna is saying and attaining this higher taste. But due to offenses, the process becomes infinite. So, to sincerely approach Krishna in a humble heart, ready to offer service, and chant for his pleasure, follow the process of these people. This would be the way. So, after Krishna described this process of thought and meditating on sense objects, and attached and fall out to material things. In text 65, it says, Prasadi Sarva Brahman Tami Asura Jayati Prasna Cheta Swarakashi Uri Kamapatition. The one who is so situated in the divine consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such a happy state, one's intelligence becomes so steady. And then in the next text, it says, one who is not in transcendental consciousness can have neither a controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. How can there be happiness without peace? So by controlling the senses and fixing the mind of Krishna, the side with by the mercy of the Lord, one becomes free from all miseries of material existence. And then on the flip side, one who doesn't, you can never have a controlled mind or steady intelligence. So how can somebody ever be peaceful? Their mind is not peaceful, their intelligence is not steady. Because earlier on, Krishna described that those who are on this path, their knowledge is one pointed. This is the goal of life, and I'm going to give my all to it. So without this conviction, how can we control our mind? How can we have true intelligence? It's said that without proper understanding of Sambandha, life's goal of the relationship between the Jiva and Krishna, there can never be happiness in life because we're just wandering around through the world, thinking that this is good, this is bad, and we're doing this birth after birth after birth in so many different bodies. But when we hear from the bona fide representative of Krishna, who's giving us knowledge of our relationship with Krishna, it gives us the goal, the vision of what to shoot for in life. And as we endeavor on the path, Krishna provides more realization. We realize that the only thing worthwhile in life is connecting to God, or serving Krishna. Otherwise, everything is just temporary with Maya. Yeah, Krishna experienced controlling the senses in this text 69, which we read. I'll read the translation of the book. But the night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control. The time of awakening for all beings is the night for the introspective stage. Therefore, there are two classes of intelligent men. The one is intelligent in material activities of sense gratification, and the other is introspective and awake to the cultivation of sense realization, self-realization. So, which one do we find ourselves in? Intelligent material activities of sense gratification. Activities of the introspective stage without the are night for persons materially absorbed. Materialistic persons remain asleep for such a night due to their ignorance and self-realization. The introspective sage remains alert in the life of materialistic death. The sage feels strengthened and pleasure in gradual and spiritual culture, whereas the man of materialistic activities being asleep to self-realization dreams of varieties of sense pleasure, feeling sometimes happy and sometimes distressed in his sleeping condition. The introspective man is always indifferent to materialistic happiness and stress. He goes on with the self-realization activities undisturbed by material reaction. And so we can see that material culture and spiritual culture are completely juxtaposed to one another. They're opposite, counterintuitive. I was reading this book by David Muhammadi, and she was pointing out knowledge of the Varnashram culture, and she was talking about, in particular, the way that traditionally women dress in India, wearing a sari, having the head covered, and how people dress in the Western world, and that the people in the Western world want to be free, to be beautiful, and do whatever they want, attract attention, and then they see this old traditional way, and oh, that's so old, that's so outdated. They're so oppressed that they can't do what they want to do. But somebody who's spiritually wise, who's spiritually intelligent, realizes the importance of dressing in a certain way, cultivating a certain consciousness. Perhaps we can see in the Western world, celebrity, not even celebrities. I went to Costco last week and I saw a little girl in the road. She was 12 years old. She was wearing short shorts, not very revealing clothes. Her parents are allowing her to do this. Traditionally, in India, like I mentioned, the sari, being clothed both all the way covered. It connects one from into a much degraded state of consciousness, so facts, so reality. And here it's become a social norm, which gets very provocative. Put in so much makeup and reveal so much parts of the body to attract the opposite sex. And this just brings more and more problems because it agitates the mind further. And the point of life is to control the mind and fix the mind in Krishna. And this way it frees us from problems. So that's just one example of she is giving, but we can look and see many examples of that. We can see that the people, when there's a party or there's a kind of festival holiday, they're up late at night shooting fireworks and doing all sorts of things. We're waking up early to go garden. The same things that they're doing for fun, thinking are outside, we're thinking of the real soul, so not like fire. So it's completely opposite. And we wake up what I want to the spiritual code that Krishna gives us. We should recognize the significance of everything that we do in life. Essentially, it is how to serve everybody culture to foster spiritual knowledge. This is what it's all based around. We should understand why do I shave my head, why do I stop. It's to help us identify ourselves in a certain role that we're playing, and also maintain a certain state of consciousness. So it's easier to focus on Krishna, focus on spiritual duty. Otherwise, if I come to the temple and dress like outsiders and I do whatever I want to do, it's very easy to become very relaxed and not take things so serious. The more serious you can cultivate the external things, you can also cultivate the internal aspects of our consciousness. It's really important. In Chaitanya Sri Parita, Gadadhar Pandit, so Sri Bhagavati Pandit, he was in Navadvip and he saw a personality who was dressed in very opulent clothes, very rich, very boisterous. And he thought, oh, who's this person? He's not a great devotee. He heard so much news about him, this great devotee. And he saw him and said, this guy's completely materialistic. But then later, during the Srimad Bhagavatam meeting, his personality was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the scriptures of Krishna. He was just like tearing up, going in ecstasy, really relishing the Bhagavatam. And at that point, I realized that this wasn't an ordinary person. Really deep love for Krishna. So just because I dress in one way doesn't mean that I have no devotion and no faith. But we should recognize the position that we're in and act accordingly so it can help us continue on our spiritual journey. Gadadhar realized his mistake and actually turned to his personality and fell on his way to sleep and asked him for his guru practices. The Ricky religion will let you time to break those associations. So the externals are there, but internal, we can't judge. So it said in the scriptures that we can't ever understand the mind of a Vaishnava. Vaishnava, they act in one way, and they know what to do, it's extremely ordinary. And the mind of a Vaishnava is, he's always putting Krishna in the center, so somehow or other he has this spiritual consciousness that we might not be able to understand. So it's best to appreciate devotees, humble, submissive way, and always ready to service and be friendly devotees. Because if we want to find faults, we can find faults everywhere we look. We're finding faults, it's not very helpful. Poison in our consciousness, we think of the negative things rather than seeing the positive aspects. So, few thoughts on this section of Bhagavad Gita. Anybody have any comments or questions before this crowd around the room?
So, you are in part of now, you people, you naive, you totally optimistic when you have to the truth. Sometimes the truth is also really something to do. How do you find balance?
How do we find a balance between being critical, seeing things as they are, versus being naive? Well, we have to understand the situation that we're in. It's Kali Yuga. So, Srimad Bhagavatam describes Kali Yuga as being an ocean full of faults. Everywhere you look, it's problems. And, the 12th canto of the Bhagavatam actually describes the symptoms of Kali Yuga, which you can see a lot of them are there now. The kings and government are just going to attack people, steal from them, take their money. People won't get married, they'll get together in relationships just based on sex. So then as soon as you stop enjoying, or you don't like this person, you get divorced, and you leave. Men will think they're beautiful because they keep long hair. Brahmanas will be Brahmanas just because they have straight on the body. They don't actually have political characteristics. So Kali Yuga is always false. But there's one good thing. What's that good thing? We can share the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but the Yuga Dharma is this second time of chanting the Lord's holy names. So within all these faults, we can always chant the holy name. So where I'm going with this is that, yeah, faults are there, and we shouldn't be ignorant to it. I shouldn't try to blame others. We're in the shower. One's taking up the purification process of Krishna consciousness, so naturally you're in this, but I'm not going to say, you're dirty, you're horrible. The person's actually becoming purified and taking the process. I mean, even in the voting, who doesn't take it so serious, and look how many living entities there are, and how many of them are actually chanting the words holy names. So, we do offenses and not chanting sincerely. It may take many lives to achieve the desired goal, but it's fewer lives than most of the other living entities we would see. So that's that. But also the Bhagavatam describes that in Kali Yuga, demons who appear Brahmanical families, Brahmanas. Just because somebody, shaved up and has, cooking all up, doesn't mean they're safe. So we have to have discrimination. So how can we have discrimination? We need trust and knowledge to see what's going on. But we have to tread lightly because Vaishnavas are very dear to the Lord. Within the Vaishnavas, it be a very big hindrance in our progress in devotional service. Even just harbor bad thoughts for the Vaishnavas, not good. So that even if you're walking down the street and you see a devotee, greet them, stop around. Which is tough because you live in smoke. You see everybody all the time. It's easy to take it for granted. But we cannot be ignorant. We have to see what people are doing and how in line it is with the Shastra. And the foundation of our life has to be Guru Sarva Shastra. The foundation of Guru Sarva Shastra is the Shastra. We have to have understanding of the Shastra. I almost say that most importantly in this Kali Yuga, we need to have clear understanding of Krishna's saying about the Bhagavatam opens up so much more knowledge, so much importance, and so much more prayers and pastimes, and ultimately culminating in the Leela of Krishna himself. But we need to understand what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, because this frees us from the conundrum we are in the material world, so that we can act without being disturbed. I prefer my guru being unattached to results, focusing on Krishna for the highest goal, and then all good will come from that. What others are doing doesn't really bother me. It doesn't affect me so much unless maybe it's connected to, say, somebody's doing something obtrusive here, and I'm inviting people to the temple. I don't want to invite them because I see people leave because this person's doing a certain activity. Then yeah, maybe I can do something if I'm so inclined and have the knowledge and vision and power to actually do it, but go through the proper methods to do something. We have to utilize our energy somehow. Krishna gives us creativity, knowledge, power. We use it in Krishna's service. It becomes a very strong asset. But if we have these things, we don't find a channel for them. It can be really difficult. But ultimately, we can see this material world is temporary. It's Kali Yuga. Then Lord Kali will come and kill all the demons. And then Satya Yuga will come again. A whole other cycle, Kali Yuga will come again. Up until the day of Brahma ends. Nighttime, everything like resolved for the time being, and manifest again, and then there's another 1,000 yugas, and then again. And then after a life of Brahma, the whole universe is destroyed, and then another universe is created again. So it's like everything that happens here is completely temporary. So we have to make the best use of the path forward and utilize our rare human form of life to engage in Krishna service and help others come to that platform also. And if others get led astray, it's called evil that's going to happen. So you can try to help others along the way, but what's the saying? If you want to help a drowning man swim, you have to be a strong swimmer yourself. If somebody's swimming or drowning, and you try to jump in and save them, then they'll pull you down. Actually, they teach in the Coast Guard. They're like these professional divers who go to rescue people. Is that? Yeah. If somebody's like flailing around and drowning, like, a lot of times they try to jump on you and like grab you, and then you can't swim and you both die. So they teach them to like knock them out. So then they can actually like carry them. So we have to be expert and strong swimmers how to navigate through life and help others along the way, but not get too involved in things that are beyond our power. So I don't know if it's helpful at all. You know, follow-up question or another point, but you see it on the screen. We have to be aware of the truth. We can't avoid the truth. We avoid this sheer ignorance. There's different ways of interpreting that of the truth. That's when we get almost different factions of seeing things. And naturally, this will happen in the movement. Time progresses. We look at Christianity, how many different denominations there are. Because there is a central mission, and then over time, there's many different factions that develop. Some are more deviant than others. So we have to be aware of this also and stay true to Srila Prabhupada's mission. Those who are speaking strongly on Srila Prabhupada's behalf have a lot of merit. But what I have observed personally is that this neophyte devotees myself, if I only hear from these people who are speaking out of the truth, and it feels false mentality. It's good to be aware of these things, because when I look at this con as a whole, and I'm like, these people are completely wrong, they're bogus, I can't go there, associate with them, they're here to here, and it's horrible. So then, they're just sensitive. That's okay if you have a whole soka that does like the same thing that you do, and you do everything that way, and I wish you. Some of us like that. And then, a large part of it, I would see you have like a little island, which is alone. The islands, the one island that's the oasis, the other island where the body is submerged, some water. So, balance is there because we have to see all the good Vaishnavas have done, even when Vaishnavas have something terrible. Look at how many years this person is selfless to serve, they've done so much to use their own body to sacrifice in Krishna service, to encourage others to take a change in the holy. It's not easy. Can you just drop everything right now and travel around the world and preach and actually inspire like thousands and thousands of people to chant the holy name, not just once, like on Hare, but like continuously, and take a vow and chant the whole lifetime, 16 months. And I may be a sinner, but I'm getting these people to do this, and they're making spiritual advancement, they're going after God. Can we do that? So until we can do that, then we have to respect and see all the stuff, but we don't hide the truth also. You have to see everything. But I'm not going to go, it's a Sunday feast lecture. Yeah, everybody come visit our temple, and then we're going to have a big class talking about the absolute truths of Islam. Naturally, we're not going to present it like, the best thing ever. But it's there, somebody at the time, and we don't have the inside either. So, it's more to be said now. Any other comments or thoughts on points? We make this louder, I can hardly hear you.
Yeah. I had a question about how you went. The question is, reading something talking about how rare. I used to say, it's not perceived, this.
Oh yeah, we're very fortunate to be in this present time and circumstance. Because Lord Krishna comes very rare. I don't know exactly what, but he wants to be and then Lord Chaitanya comes even less than that. So that we'll have Lord Krishna come, and then Lord Krishna comes as Lord Chaitanya, who's teaching devotional service unto himself. Which, from a modern historical viewpoint, 500 years, the advent of Lord Chaitanya is very far, very long ago. But from the perspective that's being presented in the Vedas, 500 years is just like yesterday. So we're very much connected to Lord Chaitanya's same time. So in other yugas, for instance, Satya Yuga, the recommendation is meditation. Control the mind, sit upright, meditate, and they live for 100,000 years. So you're not just meditating, for 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, and enjoying your life at any time. No, the goal is to fix your mind in samadhi, fix the meditation. And parts of the Bhagavatam will describe how yogis can leave their body. They'll sit in a certain and they'll plug up their bodily holes and force all their energy out and lift their spirit through their skull and leave their body willingly and go to their next destination, which might be a higher planetary system or back to the spiritual world, consciousness.
They have so much more time to achieve such a great feat. It's like even how simple it is for us, it seems like with the ocean of flaws that you mentioned, we have just like pulling this over here, pulling this over there. It's like, it seems like it's.
Over here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, with many different pastimes of different yogis and sages falling down and struggling with these aspects of meditation, even though they have so much time. So the material world is what it is. What's this shloka? Kamayesha, Kolayesha, Samudana, what's this? Rajapala Samudana. Yeah, lust is the insatiable enemy of the soul, the jiva, is born from contact with Rajapala. So, the material world has these three different Buddhas that are always fighting for supremacy in every aspect of life. Very easily is to be contacted with this Rajaguru, and the Rajaguru desires are born, desires and lust, and all this develops, and Krishna just describes what it's like when one meditates on these objects. So that's the subject of it. Because further, then there's and sacrifices, great sacrifices. You have to have so much opulence, to have so much gold, wealth. You have to have Brahmins who are expert at chanting mantras, not sitting there like reading the book and like going over, listening, like actually knowing the mantras and have another Brahmin in there to check him and make sure he's chanting everything perfectly properly. So there's many other aspects of rules and regulations in those sacrifices, which makes it very difficult. And then deity worship. We do deity worship here. We're trying from Kali Yuga, contemporary consciousness, but you can see how just take all your time and life and energy focusing on the deity all the time. But we're given this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we can chant anywhere, anytime, any place. And the more you chant, the more you want to chant, the more nice it is. The more you get others to chant, and the more Krishna inspires you to chant more. And naturally, as you're chanting Hare Krishna, you give up all these frivolous things, eating onions, drugs, alcohol, wasting time with frivolous things. Because you remind you of Krishna, and Krishna inspires you within to give more to Him, come to Him. So it's very easy. You don't have to do anything. I can be completely dirty and filthy. Whereas, if I'm dirty and filthy, I can't do deity worship. I can't do these sacrifices. But I can chant Hare Krishna. Not saying that we should just be dirty, but my point is, there's no hard and fast rules. Lord Chaitanya, he says in Shikshastra, Nam Nam Kali Bahula Nija Sharpa Shaktis. What is it? The second line says, the guide of Krishna. Even though it's very rich in quality, there's so the Lord has infinite amount of holy names and thus this unlimited amount of power to these holy names. Just by chanting these names more than there's no hard and fast rules. That's the point of religion. There's no hard and fast rules. Just chant. So that's why it's considered very fortunate to be in this Kali Yuga, because all we have to do is drink the chant of Hare Krishna. And everything we're looking for will come from Him. But if we're in a position where we meet the devotees and we hear about chanting Hare Krishna, but we don't even take the chant of Hare Krishna, it's like I'm a model of some person who's wearing opulent clothes and dress, and I have like fake jewelry on, and somebody comes by and tries to give me a diamond, and I say, no, I don't care what I have. The person says, no, this is much better, it's a real diamond. No, I like this. Because we see some people come to the temple, they come, they just focus on the deities, maybe they offer something and then they leave, they don't hear what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, and they don't take the chant of Hare Krishna. And but they're missing out on a very, very, very special opportunity to realize that I am not my body. I have nothing to do with this material world. The more I try to enjoy the world outside, the more I get entangled and I have to take another birth. What happens when I take another birth? More suffering, more pain, more pain. Then you end up as an animal, or you end up in hell, and you forget the point of life. And then you have to go through so many lives to come again to be a human. And then you're a human and you just want to enjoy, you want to have sex, you want to have a relationship, you want to have food for your belly. And rather than connected to Krishna and God of all. So we can see this in India, when people, everybody knows Krishna. And as they're being more and more influenced by the Western world, they're becoming more enamored by sense gratification, lust. And then forget the point of life. But then they still have it in their culture to go visit the temples of rich celebrities who won't do anything religious, who go to a temple opening and they got the show up. They have no love for Krishna, or at least I can see the love of Krishna, but love meaning following the process is given by the acharyas that we know, which is pleasing way to Krishna, pleasing Krishna. Krishna bestows on us spiritual realization, and from the spiritual realization, we become detached from this situation in the material world. And once professing to love Krishna, at the same time, we're still engrossed in material life, gross material life. Doesn't go anywhere. Okay, any other comments or questions or thoughts? Leave this last time. Thank you everybody for tolerating. Thank you for being